Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, B.C. Clark.
Hello and welcome to the Business Connection. I'm your host, B.C. Clark. Today, my guest is Deshaun Hernandez. As you know, we interview business owners across the state and other states as well. Deshaun, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I know the business is called Island Chill 402.
Correct.
And so let's talk a little bit, tell us a little bit about you. Hello and welcome to the Business Connection. I'm your host, B.C. Clark. Today, my guest is Deshaun Hernandez. As you know, we interview business owners across the state and other states as well. Deshaun, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I know the business is called Island Chill 402.
Correct.
And so let's talk a little bit, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a mother of 5, and I pretty much run this business with the help of my daughter.
Okay, and so when did you start it? I mean, you know, as a business owner, there are so many things that go, what was your?
Well, okay, so after the birth of my son, I didn't want to go back to work. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just started buying, I bought a snow cone machine, a tent, and the first year I was pretty much I was running like a hustle, like a side hustle.
Like that was a side hustle, yes.
Yeah, it was a side hustle.
I recommend that actually. I think if someone has never started a business before, I think that to get your foot wet, you should do a side hustle. Mm-hmm. And that's for those individuals too that are, say maybe they're working a 9 to 5 or whatever, working for someone else, but they have a desire and maybe something that they want to do, then start it as a side hustle.
Yeah. Because
that can help you begin to understand what are some of the hats that you'll be wearing as a business owner. Yeah. So go ahead, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to be able to actually make money, but once I started, I got a little bit more serious about it. The following year, I bought a trailer, mm-hmm. and I still was kind of hustling.
Yeah, not kind of, you were hustling.
Yeah.
Because when you start making $5, you start hustling more.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So it wasn't that you started more hustling. You just said, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm making money at this,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, well, see, and then I wasn't really doing the business end, so that came maybe that following year, and then for this year, I've really, my website is up, taxes, I've been paying taxes.
You know you're in business, you're paying the taxes.
Yeah, I'm paying all those taxes, all the insurances, all the permits, so mm-hmm. I don't even know how I'm making money at this point, but.
You really are, and I'm going to show you how so you can know you're making money. I think a lot of times when people, venture out, I think they have a false sense of understanding what a business really is, and so they don't think about their financials, they don't think about recording, and making sure that they're doing all those things, and so a lot of times I always tell people, if you don't know, get the information. There's free workshops all the time on everything. There's QuickBooks to help you with your financial system. There's introductions to financials so you can understand what an income statement is and all that mm-hmm. stuff. Because even if you run your house, a lot of people don't deal with those forms. Yeah. And so that lingo and those terminology are not often used. So when you get in the business arena, that's all you hear. Yeah. Cash flow. And I have people that are coming to the office that's been in business for 2 or 3 years, and they say, what's the cash flow?
Yeah.
What's the income statement? And I'm like, do you have an accountant? But I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Well, I have a class coming up. It's called Intro to Financials. Just helping them understand the terminology, seeing the forms, so they're not afraid when, someone comes up. But I always love to hear the journey. So I know, you've been doing this a couple of years now?
Yes. I would say this is my 3rd year, but that first year really doesn't count.
You was playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like most people. I think that like I said, I didn't know it would become an actual business, or I was hoping, but
yeah.
yeah. So I'm doing better this year, you know. And as far as the classes and learning all of that, I learned as I went, like as I've gone. I've now come in to find things like what you're talking about, the QuickBook classes, and now I'm like hooked up. But sometimes it takes going through that to get hooked up with all the people, all the classes, because I had no idea all of this help was available. But
Yeah.
I am sharing it on my platform.
Yeah.
Like I share a lot of information, how to go about it. People ask me questions all the time, and as if I have the information,
You can share
I
it.
share it
Yeah, I
definitely.
think that in my program, I will walk, especially if someone comes to me with an idea for a business, and they've decided that that's something that they want to do, then there's a whole process that they go through. If it's an idea and it's not a business or whatever, and they're like, so I have them write a vision for that idea. I also have them write a mission for the idea. And if they can actually visualize the idea and write a statement or 2 sentences on the vision for that, because the vision is where you go and the mission is how you get there. So you have to have goals of saying how you're going to get there. So you need to be able to write that mission. And then if they can do those 2 things, then I have them describe the business. This business idea, what's that description for that business? How will it work? Tell me how it's going to operate.
Yeah.
That gets them thinking.
Well
And in that class, I've seen a lot of people say, I don't want to do it. So
Yeah.
they'll leave. But the ones who are really, and I do that on purpose, because if you're not really there and this is something you want to do, then don't waste people's time.
Yeah.
But the ones who say, yeah, I want to do, and they write out a vision and a mission, and then maybe we tweak it, because obviously sometimes they're not sure. And then when they get to the description of how they want to do it and what they plan to do with it, then we have something relevant. We can go and see, can this be viable? Can you make money at this? So there is a process. And a lot of times, if you can follow the foundation in the process of growing from here to up, as opposed to sliding into it and trying to go into it, usually there is a, end here. And that's usually when you see a lot of people end within 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think that the one thing that I think is really good is that when you don't know something, you have to ask. You have to dig and find that information. You have to put your time in, because being an entrepreneur is not like, it's not luxury.
Yeah.
It's time in. And if it's something you really, really want, then get the education. Find out all the things you need to find. You don't want to find everything out by trial and error, because it could actually
No.
destroy your business. So you want to get some information ahead of time, right? To really give you that boost of, I can do this. Say, for instance, if you knew that there were classes like business planning and things like that before even your first year, just think about how far you would be right now in your third year. So I think sometimes when people are talking, I don't need this, I don't need that, I never wrote a business plan. There's people that's in business right now that never wrote a business plan.
Yeah, you'll be backtracking. And
Yeah, and you don't know where you're going. It's like having someone say, okay, I want you to drive to Chicago. Oh, by the way, we don't have any maps.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes reality is what has to happen for some businesses. And I think that was so relevant during the COVID, when COVID happened, right?
Yes.
There was a lot of people that had just started their business, and then COVID comes along, they have to shut down their business. They had already maybe gotten loans and bought equipment and stuff like that, so then they were standstill.
Yeah.
So they looked at other things that they could do. And we had people that would call us and say, hey, I don't know, my business just started, I can't do anything, there's a government shutdown, everything is this. And it was at the time that I believe we were doing workshops on business resumption, which talks about, and we must have done 200 workshops on business resumption. And that was about, number one, how do you get started after an interruption? And that was a worldwide interruption.
Yeah, it was.
And there were certain restrictions. If you were a restaurant, you couldn't do certain things. If you were in construction, you were probably a little better off, but if you couldn't go in places, you couldn't, everything. And it just changed the business life for a lot of people for a while. And so I think that I always, even with the people that's entrepreneurs that just starting out, I want you to, I know you have the business plan and we're writing that, but I want you to have a contingency. Because you never know when something like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened. We weren't here for the last one. So a lot of us wasn't here for the influenza one 100 years ago, right? And how that damaged everything. We never even thought about it. We never talked about it. We didn't even think it would ever happen again. And then COVID shut down everything for over 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and so think about those businesses. And some of them may have had business plans, some of them didn't. But some of them had to do a lot of pivoting if they planned to stay in business. So that was a crucial moment for a lot of businesses to make decisions on whether or not they could make it through.
Yeah.
You know, but there were a lot of help that came from the government, you know, with the PPP and the EIDL. And if you had your records in order, if you were able to maintain, have kept good records, then you were able to get some of that PPP money on the first round. But think about all the ones who didn't have any financials.
Yeah.
They were running their business, that's all. So I think record keeping and all of those things are critical when you first start a business. I don't think that that's something that you have to learn, you know.
Later on.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Completely.
You have to, you know, so I always, you know, I have a startup package and I always say, you know, here are the things that you need to do if you're going to start a business. And those are things that, you know, people say, well, I never even thought about that. I never thought about even thinking about this. It's just things that, you know, are hidden that I know that I've gone through that I share in the classes that I do, you know. And the business connection, this was all kind of derived from all the stuff that I knew about business. And so that's when I started interviewing businesses across the state. I've had people come in from a business in Memphis. I had a business come in from Louisiana.
Nice.
You know, that was just in town, and I well, come to the show. And just because different states have different procedures and things, and everybody has a different story. So, but yeah, just getting out some of the stories, especially of a lot of the minority businesses. I love to do that because, you know, sometimes I think people don't understand everybody's struggle is different for different reasons. For different reasons, you know. So we all need to know the journey and what the struggle was and how do we get past that and help the next person.
I agree.
You know. So now, where all do you go? And
Yeah, I had to backtrack a little bit. Island Chill is a slushy or fruit bubble tea.
I love it. I'm gonna tell you that. Really. You know, I bought. The way I found you actually was you were at the Highlander.
Yes.
And I think I came up and I don't know if I got one or two. I think my family was there for some kind of function.
Yeah, I recall.
But we really like that. So let me ask you this, and I want you to go on. I want to make sure I have time. I want you to go on, but do you do private things? And is there like a limit of what if someone said, I'd like to have you come to a party, is there like a limit
Yeah.
for them that they would have to pay in order for you to come for an hour, 2 hours, whatever?
Yeah, so right now I charge $350 and it provides 9-ounce cups for 50 people.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah, and so I also do community events, and a lot of times, you know, we service hundreds. And actually, I was there, I believe, for free for the patrons that were there. So for those, so for those, I try to do like unlimited, which I can serve for 100, 150 with assistance. And for those, I charge $400 an hour.
That's not bad.
No, not at all.
No,
and
especially if it's like hundreds of people.
People love it, yeah. And we just keep going and going. So I do those. Also, I can, whatever your favorite drink is, say you hire me, I can do a cranberry slushy or whatever you would like.
And do you do just the non-alcoholic slushies, or do you do the alcoholic slushies as well?
So I can add your alcohol to it. Yeah.
I don't have any, but because I don't drink. I just asked, you know, because I know that was a question that someone asked actually Saturday.
Yes.
You know, they was like, do they do, you know, alcohol? So what you're saying is that if you're at someone's house and they want to mix that in, that's up to them.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can
Good.
put that in
makes
for
sense.
you.
Yeah.
It's they won't give a liquor license to a mobile unit. I could take out a permit, maybe a temporary permit for a space
day or
if you were having
something.
a wedding or something like that.
Oh, then you
I
can do
could
that.
probably do that for you. But I also do like a wine slushy, so I would have you purchase the
The wine,
ingredients. Yeah,
and then you do the slushy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's really good. If I do say so myself, yes.
Well, I know that but that's good to know because I think a lot of individuals that have parties and things like that at their homes, they may want you to park in their driveway and
Oh yeah.
serve their guests, you know. So, so now is the 350 an hour for a
Yes.
person? So it's 350 an hour. So they want to, if they didn't want to pay like, you know, $1,000, they would have you come for the time that they needed you and
Yes.
for that hour.
So also, I have businesses that hire me, and part of, getting the people to come in is I'll come out and I charge $200 an hour, and then I charge their guests to,
To buy the
purchase the
stuff.
slushy. So
Yeah.
even if
So they could do something like that.
yeah, frozen lemonade.
Yeah.
If you have like a family reunion, you can bring me out for the 200, and then I would
Charge them. They pay for
your
their
guest,
slushy.
your own
Yeah,
guest.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's good to know. I'm glad you brought that up because there's a lot of times, when people say, food trucks are similar. They want you to pay $1,000.
Or yeah, some places they require a minimum. I feel it's just easier just to do the 200
Yeah.
and get me there.
Yeah, and not only that, I think you'll get more people.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that the ones who go to these huge things like the World Series and all that stuff, they have to charge where they charge. But I think they have to pay to be there.
Yeah, I do pay to go to events.
Yeah.
I'll be at Hutch Fest coming up. I'll be at Afro Fest.
And that's in
And
September, I
they-
think. That
yes,
Fest, yeah.
yes.
It's good to know because it's usually hot during that time, and if you can go over there and get a slushy or something, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And do you have different sizes, like sizes for kids, and
Yes, I have the 9 ounce for kids, and then I have a 12 ounce.
for adults?
Yes.
Okay. And so, do you have like cups smaller than that for little kids, like 2?
No, sometimes I'll just do half of a cup.
Yeah, for them. I'm just asking all the questions I know people want to ask you that they haven't. But I think that it's really a good business because, and now, so what do you plan to do? Because it's seasonal.
Yes.
So what are your plans for that in the winter? Are you just going to park it, try to make as much as you can, and work like all the hot, months and try to? But anyway, that's something to think about strategically as you go forward.
That's what I try to do. I just purchased another trailer, and we'll be doing bubble tea, like the boba.
Yeah.
Out of
And I
that.
think you should do sandwiches and things too.
Yeah, we'll probably do.
Hot dogs or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like something
Something
easy
short,
and fast
yeah,
to prepare.
easy. Yeah.
Because we're mostly at events, and people are just grabbing something to go.
Right.
And I don't want to hold the line up. Like I try to serve
get
as
stuff
many
going.
people as
So, I think both of your trailers could be there. You can do the slushies, and then you can have the food and make money on both while you're
Yeah.
there.
We're
I'm
doing
always
both.
thinking about revenue. I'm always, but I'm thinking, and things that are easy for families and kids is hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right? Or corn dogs on the stick. Those are easy things. And since you have that trailer, you can just have a little tiny thing there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can.
Sometimes occasionally, it depends on the event, we'll do like beef or chicken hot dogs. Also, I'm working on getting a space to rent out for the winter and start doing
you could
coffee and the cocoa and things
Yes,
like that.
and stuff like
So
that. Absolutely.
It's hard to move around with the trailer in the winter time. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get that and get the marketing
And even
going
I'm
for
thinking,
that.
even if there's like a lot of these cold warehousing and co-working spaces, a lot of times, asking them if you can park outside. But let me tell you, the people that are going in will get that hot coffee and that hot cocoa and whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Or asking them if they don't have something within, maybe in their lobby,
Yeah, I do a mobile also. I do like a mobile slushy in the winter too.
Yeah.
And I drop the machine off, or I can,
Oh, I see. So you just,
kinda
so talk about that. So you
do
do
that
rent the
for you.
machine out.
Yes, I will rent the machine out. I'm trying to get the mobile coffee going as well.
Yeah. Are you doing that through like one of the coffee companies or?
No, but I did run into someone that has
LaRue?
their own beans, roast their own beans. So I was gonna
Hardy?
get
Hardy Coffee?
with them.
Hardy, they roast their own beans, and I think they're reasonable. And LaRue was another one probably.
And then recently, a few people have reached out. Sorry, and I'm trying to get a coffee shop going.
Okay.
But I don't have, obviously, those funds.
Yeah.
That costs a little.
Well, and I think that this is a good time for you to kind of put your foot out there with it, with the mobile. And you'll be surprised at the number of people, even at night, like after they get out of the bar, they're so high. They need,
they want the coffee.
They need coffee. So that may be something to look at, you know, being present.
Yeah.
In some of those spaces, you know, because they come up and you got hot chocolate, you got cappuccino, you got this or that or the other, because you know they're getting ready to go home and they need to, you know, find their way, so they may need some coffee or something. But I think that that's really good. But just think about the things strategically. You know, where do you want the business to go, and how do you think you might want to scale it if you're going to continue? Because you've already bought another trailer, so you obviously plan to do something else.
Yeah.
And you know, you might even they have the trailer, but they have the little house, little hut that fits on the trailer, where you could have stuff inside that's already prepared. You know what I mean? So when you go out, you can say, okay, I plan to make this much money because based on what you have that you're taking out.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe every day you go to a different spot. You know, and if it's not like a lot of snow and all that stuff, and you know what I mean, you can still do it. I mean, clear up, yeah. Because I don't think we didn't have bad snow this time.
No, I think maybe twice.
I think so, yeah. We didn't. I mean, so this was could have been, or probably has been a good year for you, because people. One thing I know about popsicles and slushies are novelties.
Yes.
So anytime people see them, they're so it's a good. You see what I mean? So it's a good business. So just think about that. What are the things you can do? You know, and then until you can get to that place where you can have a spot that you can, you know, be inside, have people walk in and do that.
Coming.
Everything takes time.
Yes.
But I think that, you know, you build what you have on what you have, and then that way you can take it to the next level, you know, and then hire people to do the island chill. You know, that'll be mobile. You'll have a stationary place, and you'll have 2 trailers.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming down. I think that this is a good business. And like you said, once you had your last baby, your son, you said, I don't want to go work for anybody. I just want to stay with my babies. And this is a way to show them as well, you know, leaving a legacy, you know, just giving them that business-minded spirit as well, you know, which I think is really good. Because your daughter, how old is she?
She's 15.
15, yeah. And she already got the business
she
going
can
on.
run it. She runs it by herself. Yeah.
Business, so, so that's a plus already, you know.
She tries to put me out.
Girls, I can do this. Go ahead and do what you gotta
Mom,
do.
go. Like, you're in the way.
Yeah.
So.
So, yeah, no, that's good. That's awesome. I think it's something to think of, you know, when we think about our kids and you're starting a business, you want to make sure that they know as much, you know, and can be. I mean, a lot of people say their kids don't want to do their business, but you never know. They may see this, you know, how you're doing and how it makes you happy, because everything is everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you, she doesn't really want to go to work for anyone else. I'm like, you're going to be paying taxes. You know, I pay her an hourly wage, and she makes the tips. So she makes. Some days, some days, you know, she's up there with me some days because I have to pay her. Yeah,
I mean, that's really good, because we really want our kids to be involved.
Oh yeah.
You know, even if they choose to do a different type of business, at least they'll have the understanding of how to run.
There's no way you could work for someone else after that.
Right? No. No, because you know how, you know, like nobody got to tell me. You know, I mean, I think a lot of the work models that we have today are not going to work going forward.
No.
I think business owners are going to build their own model, you know, and my model is that, you know, you have business partners. You know what I mean? Yeah. Your business, their business, and you're feeding each other's business.
Yeah, well, I was in cosmetology before I started doing that. So, and I was working for someone else and making we paid probably $20,000 back then when I went to school. And they weren't paying anything. And when I went back to doing hair, they were still paying, I want to say like $15 an hour. That's all you're making, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but you make your tips standing,
That ain't the same as having a whole pool.
No.
You know? So I think that's what's really, I mean, I think that's what's really good. And even so, I mean, I love the fact that you have like 3 good revenue streams right now. Not only the Island Chill 402, but also you rent the machine to people, for by the hour and, whatever that is. So that's another revenue stream, and then, you're got another trailer now. So that could be another stream because, you're trying to go to 7. So that could be another stream where you're doing the food now, and simple things, not, remember in the summertime, no one's trying to eat a big plate.
Yeah.
So when you can come in with a hot dog,
salads, grilled
yes,
chicken on there,
and a couple of vegan options.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's already packaged and ready to go. Someone come up to the window, they can just take it. And we have a lot more vegans nowadays. Pure vegans that they're not eating anything that's dairy. They're not eating meat, and they're not And then you have vegetarians. They'll say, I eat fish, or pescatarians.
Yes.
So I mean, you have options. To do. And salads, if you got a cooler in there, package those salads and have them ready. You go on.
Oh, we do charcuterie cups too, depending on the event.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you do the cups.
Yeah, just cute little.
We so we have and maybe we'll have you just come if you like. But we have something called Sip and Learn at the end of the month, and it's usually at Highlander. And we also do Uptown Switch and Connect, which is kind of like speed connecting. Be great if you brought the truck and people can just buy what they wanted off the truck.
Yeah, because I was looking at doing something like that with the Sip and Learn.
That's what we, actually when we started Sip and Learn, nobody was doing sipping anything.
Yeah.
And then ever since because we've been doing it every month, and it's MOWBC is the one who started it. But every month we do Sip and Learn one month, Uptown Switch the next.
Oh, I really want to get into that. I have an idea for that too.
Come, yeah, you should come. Okay, so we have a breakfast next Friday.
Okay.
It's the Metro Ohio Women's Business Center, and we have a breakfast the 3rd Friday of every month.
I'll be there.
So go to the website, sign up, and we'll see you there. Bring your truck because people may want something slushy that morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe
we
coffee.
Do eat breakfast.
Look.
Yeah, maybe coffee. Yeah. Well, definitely coffee because a couple of them it's in the morning. They love coffee.
Yeah.
And we normally go to Hardee's and we have a couple of those. But if you're going to bring coffee, then we can talk.
Yeah.
Listen, I really appreciate you coming to talk about Island Chill 402 and your business and how you got started. I'm so proud of what you're doing and what you're doing. And not only that, but you have your children involved. So thank you so much for being on the show and letting everybody know what you're doing. So where are you going to be next? And I think that, with just a few seconds left, but you want to tell me where you're going to be next? Quickly.
Hutch Fest and Afro Fest.
Hutch Fest is when?
September, that first weekend.
Okay, and then?
And Afro Fest as well.
It's the same, okay.
Yes. And
all right.
Island Chill 402 on all social media, and you can book at islandchill402.com as well.
There you go. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you for having me.
This is Deshaun Hernandez with Island Chill 402 and so many other things. Watch her. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you the next time on The Business Connection.